Okay. We'll see how this works. I hooked up a new mic. So I have this microphone I never use. I was using some cheap headset for some reason. I don't know what sounds better. Whatever. At least I don't have to wear a little headset now. Okay, so what do we actually want to do? I'm kind of at the point where it's. See, I've got 20 minutes left on my lunch. So let's see what we can do in 20 minutes. All right, so I'm like looking at this here, and it looks not great, obviously. Um, and I was kind of looking at Reddit, and pardon, I was thirsty. I was looking at Reddit, and they have stuff centered. They have like these. Here, let's bring back out the drawing pad. Oh, here we go. Yeah, let's discard these. So, new. There we go. Okay. So if we have a page with our header, oh my gosh, with our header up here in the middle, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, let's miniaturize this. So we have our header up here, and I'm thinking the feed will be like this. And then I noticed they had like a nice transparency when needed. So sometimes you would get not quite full-sized images, like the resolution wouldn't work out. But sometimes you get like full images, where it takes up the whole space. Anyway, what I'm saying is there's like some sort of a like semi-transparent background on some of the images that can't quite fit or don't match the resolution. So anyway, what I'm saying is this would differ from what we have right now, where we put this background like everywhere, and then like as we expand this, it does not look good. So there's just like some design stuff which isn't very exciting, but well, let's just like see what we can do. So let's hop over here and yeah. So I've got my inspector up. So let's see. So I need like a transparent, what is it? It's like RGBA. Let's do like 20, 20, 20, and then something like that. I think that's how that works. And I'm just going to quickly, I'll show you if it looks. Oh, oops. Doesn't look very opaque. Let's try. I just lowered some RGB values. Oh, I broke the site. Hold on. it's not very opaque. Of course, you know, the background is... let's give... So I'm just giving the background of root. Like, that looks awful. A very dark color here. That looks not great. And the transparency looks like crap. Okay. Let's do like... Again, I'm just adjusting RGB values. I'll get kind of a gray. I don't know why I'm trying to like play with colors right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and I'm just gonna ditch that background color for now. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. I'm already 6 minutes in, and I had less than 20 minutes actually. Okay, so what do I want to actually do here? Well, for one, I don't want that thumbnail container being so wide. Let's say 30. And then let's up the viewport, actually. There we go. But the thumbnail is really small. So, where do we define our... Oh, here. So if you look over here, yeah, I mean, it looks pretty small, right? So with the image, I think we just, we have to give it a height and a width. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Yeah, so width 100%, then height 100%. And that should be, yeah, oops. Okay, that doesn't look great. So let's take a look. Yeah, I'm looking at height and width of 100%. Oh, height is still 30 view height. Let's try this again. Ah, okay. That's a lot closer to what I was wanting. Of course, this X is like getting in the way. Let's see if we can't fix that really quick. Yeah, I might have to come back to this. I'm like running out of time. I don't know why I started a video. I normally wait till later. Okay, well. Oh, you know what? The delete icon. I think we're going to actually end up removing. Yeah. Because, according to my design, what I want is more of a 3-dot menu and like confirmation. Oh, see, that looks clean. Or that looks cleaner. You know what? Where am I pointing? You know what would be interesting is if, let me open up my oh, that was just me editing some crap. What am I looking for here? No, again, not that. This. So, back to the drawing board. So what if, okay, let's say we have 2 screens here, okay? The middle just being whatever. It's, yeah. Okay, so here on this screen is the thumbnail view. And we have like thumbnails like this, you know? And, you know, I guess I don't need to be drawing images every time, but you can't stop me. Here's a flower, the world's worst flower. I think I drew a better flower when I was in 2nd grade. Okay, whatever. So let's say we click. We click on one of these, okay? What if we did something like an opaque background? Oh, God, that's not what I'm trying to show. Like, what if we centered the image and then, like, put an opaque background and we showed the full-sized image, like, expanded over everything. So you click on it, and then it brings up a bigger window, you know, clouding the background and shows you the full-sized image. And then we don't have to, like, worry about what it looks like in comparison to the thumbnails. We would just bring the image to the forefront and then collapse it down. Maybe I'm not explaining this very well. I have an image, though, in my head. And I need to stop now. I'll be back to implement this, I promise. All right. We're back for the time being. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we're going to, I guess, move forward with the idea that we'll have, like, an expanding view for the images. And so that means our full-sized image should look quite a bit different. So here's our full-sized image. I wonder... this is probably mostly a CSS thing. I'm not very good with animations in CSS. It's not something I've done a lot of work with. But we'll see. So, you know, I'm going to move this guy more like right here. More like the professional YouTuber. Although I think it would be quite miserable to like actually do that for a living. Like being such a public face. And like you make little videos for a living. Ugh. I don't know. Some of them are pretty cool. Some cool channels out there. I appreciate what they do. But anyway, so we have these two bits here. And I think this is what we want to do. So we need to connect some ideas here. We want the root, or we want like, you know, I wonder I'm thinking through things and not saying anything. So I wonder if when we click on the image, we have a handler for that. We could throw an like opaque background over the root, and then from there, um, display our image right in the middle of the screen. So I think that would be easy ish. Where do we actually call image? We call it here. Okay. So amazing. So when we click on the thumbnail, we should create an element. Overlay equals, just make it a div, and then overlay.id equals overlay, and awesome. And then here we'll overlay.remove. I think that's the plan. So overlay, it's an ID. How loud are these clicky clacks? I guess pretty loud. I don't really have a quieter keyboard, so. I'm also making some coffee, so I'm probably gonna dip for like a couple seconds. But 100 view width, height, 100 view height, and then background color, we want GB. Let's go with this. Let's make it more like that. Then actually let's lower this to like 25. Like that. And then here, full-sized image container, what we're going to do is set this to 100%. Height is going to be 100 view height. I don't think we need a margin anymore. And then let's do, let's give it flex, and we'll align items center and justify content center. And then this, yeah, I don't know. We'll just see how it looks. Let's come back over here. Hey, that's not too bad, huh? I don't know where our overlay is, though. Oh, you know, we never attach it. That's actually that makes sense. Yeah, we never attach it, so sorry. Again, where do we call this? Thumbnail. Okay. Oh, and we don't have access to root, so there we go. You know, this should also be like, I wonder if it's going to stack underneath everything. We'll, I guess, check really quick. Yeah, it's like way down here. And you know what we should do is like we should get rid of scrolling, I think. And like fix the image. So, and say root dot style dot overflow y equals, was it none? Flow, no. I think it's just overflow y. What are the overflow y options? Hidden. Auto. And then, yeah, how do we'll want to, ooh. I wonder if for the overlay, we actually, here, I'm gonna try some trickery, some mischievous programming. Let's see what happens here. So instead of, so I'm thinking we append the container to the overlay and then add the overlay. Maybe? No, that might. Maybe we need to remove the container first and then reappend it? I don't know. I might be overthinking this a little bit. Container.remove. We'll try it though and just see kind of what happens. Then overlay.append container and then root append overlay. I don't know. Am I even showing you the code? No, I'm not. I'm showing you the wrong thing here. But we're appending the overlay now to, we're appending the container of the image to the overlay. And then, yeah, appending the overlay to the root. So, say, no, I don't know. I think I'm thinking about this wrong. I think I'm thinking about this wrong. Yeah, I am. We're like appending it to the bottom. Oh. Here, I'm going to get some coffee, and we'll try this again. Okie doke. Okay, so what I did over yonder was a bad idea. So let's not remove the container. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I already have this up. Ah. Right. I was still appending the container itself. Oh, now it's all disconnected. Right. So I think we can fix that. So top 0 position fixed. Is that how we want to do it? Right, now it's over everything, and we can still scroll. Right. And if we set like a negative z index, what would happen there? Right, exactly what I thought would happen. The buttons here are still visible. And then, of course, this overlay, like, it's ridiculous. We just set 100%, and then just a moment. I think my wife texted me. Yes. Okay. We're excited to watch the Fallout show. I believe Fallout is usually comes out on Wednesdays, but it's coming out tonight, I believe, on a Tuesday. So I think what we need to do here is set like a z-index of 2, but then put the image container at a higher z-index. 3. You know, so here's a consideration that web developers almost never make, and it is accessibility. Now, my boss, he's blind. He has vision impairments, and he told me, like, one, the modern web is just horrible to navigate through for him, but secondly, that Z indexes, I believe, have issues with accessibility. Now, if I was making this more of a public website, and not just for my own personal use, someone who is not disabled, then I would probably put more time into those considerations. But I think for the sake of our purposes, we're fine. But I just thought that was an interesting note, is like, in my line of work, accessibility is definitely brought up more often. Because I do work with disabled people, and even like things like being colorblind. I know numerous people who are colorblind. I believe like a third of all people have some form of blindness. Yet, you know, think about stoplights, right? A sizable chunk of the population can't see those green, yellow, and reds. I believe my own brother-in-law described them as just shades of gray. Or not gray, but, you know. Anyway, it's just the world does not take into account disability or support needs or any of that, which is just a shame. It's people just don't think about it. And I think even like if it's not something you directly interact with, you should still think about it. Here's an anecdote, as I should be programming, but here's an anecdote. A couple years back, some lore. I used to skateboard for quite a while. Gone to longboarding, snowboarding, skiing. Did a little bit of BMX, and then in my early mid-20s, I did some rollerblading with my wife. And I was getting okay at it. I could do like 180s and like some little tricks off curbs and stuff. Was learning to skate backwards and all of that fun stuff. Well, so one day, like a rock or something got caught in my wheels, and I turned left a little too quick. My right foot didn't follow, and guess who dislocated his knee? Pretty severely, actually. So I was on crutches there for weeks, and it was my first foray into like, oh my god, how do I get down these stairs? Or walking down sidewalks. People with big trucks would back up onto the sidewalk, and I wouldn't be able to get past. And even my brief foray with disability was, I found the world to be unkind. It's a shame. Anyway, back to coding. Back to coding here. Thought I heard. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so. Ooh, okay, so am I on the right screen here? God, I need to swap these key commands because it keeps swapping tabs on me. And now our handler doesn't work because we can't click on that. Shouldn't, oh, you know, the Z index should be underneath, maybe. So instead of 3, our full-sized image container should be a Z index of 1. Am I thinking about that? No. Oh, did I empty cache? Yeah, I did. Huh. Okay. So, what am I doing wrong here? Maybe we can ask Claude instead of me stumbling around. I will unfortunately say I've gotten some use out of AI. I'm very reluctant, for reasons I hope are obvious, but sometimes, you know, I just like have a hard time like finding the answers I actually need on Google. And you haven't seen me do it yet, but often I'll try and ask for sources, especially when it comes to stuff like that I'm sketchy about. I just know in my past, I've personally argued with specifically ChatGPT about a certain library I was using, and it claimed that, oh, hello, it claimed that a certain method didn't exist, but it definitely did because I used it daily. And it was just like astounding how confidently it told me something wrong. And hopefully that's an experience all people have shared. If not, if you've never found an AI to be wrong, then maybe ask yourself some questions. Okay. Say I have an overlay that should span the entire screen and an image that should display on here, covering all elements, and an image that display. I feel like this is a common problem and something I solved in the past, so it's kind of funny I can't just solve for X right now. But see, add an image that should display on top of the overlay. The screen should not allow the user to scroll. How would I go about implementing something like this? Also, like, I feel like AI is less consequential when you're dealing with like CSS questions. I couldn't imagine trying to like vibe code a security system. Like, go ahead and I don't know. That just seems like really like a terrible idea. Okay, so what do we got here? What is it telling me? So we have our overlay, right? We have an image, right? Overlay.append child image. Okay, right. Okay, but that's the thing is like, what if I can't have, what if the image cannot be a child of the overlay? Yep, with different z indexes. That's what I was thinking, but what did I get wrong on the z index? So the overlay should be 10,000 and 10,001. That's what I thought I was doing? Ugh, look at the centering logic. I'm on the right screen, right? Yeah, okay. Look at this centering logic. We did the same thing with Flex, with Flexbox, which I hope everyone is familiar with in the modern day. Um, no more tables, no more grids. In any case, Flexbox is a wonderful resource. And yeah. I mean, we did some of that with like our toast messaging, but I wasn't really as worried about that. Mostly because I wanted it like fixed and at the top and, but like for this, see, this is why it's like not technically wrong. That's true. It's not technically wrong. It's just, not how like a modern human writing CSS would write it. At least in my case, in my experience. Which, and I don't want to brag, I'm almost at 8 years of professional experience. So, which might not look like it. I work in a different domain, so yeah. It's kind of like the joke of like, can you fix my printer, right? Because I do some programming. No, it's I don't fix printers. I do something else. Can you write a mobile app? I'm not an app developer. I mean, I probably could. And that might be something I want to explore, but I don't do that kind of stuff. Especially not professionally. Anyway, let's set these z indexes. So, I wonder if... Oh, it shouldn't matter if we put the container... Yeah, let's try it with the container. I don't feel like we actually changed a whole lot. So, well, that also meant I was on the right track. Yeah, check it. Okay, so what if we do put it on this? What if we just... Boop. Add a z index, but one higher for the image itself. There we go. Then if we click on it, oh, there we go. And then Claude recommended not root, but document body, I believe. Yeah, document dot body. There we go. Let's hop back over here, refresh. Yep, can't scroll. And then back over here, we go like this, auto. And we come back over yonder. What was that? Over yonder. We should be able to scroll again. Very nice. Oh. Not if it's not centered. Okay. All right. So that's an issue. Well, what's up here? So let's inspect. Let's inspect. So we have the full-sized image and the image container. Right. Okay. So the image container Anyway, so the image container has a height of 100 view height. You know, I'm wondering if we just set it to top. So we come back over here. CSS is like, there's a reason, like I think I mentioned previously, that I tend to get lost in CSS because a lot of time can go into designing. Having worked with development teams quite a few development teams, you know, there's a reason focus groups exist. There's a reason Figma exists and mockups, and you know, designers are an integral part of any team. And both architectural design, right, of your actual product, but also UI design, UI UX. They're pretty important roles. Okay, anyway, whatever. Top 0. Oh, we should do that with... Okay, so it's saying Z index here is useless. What if we top 0 and then see if that like actually fixes anything? Okay. Nope. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to pull this over here. You'll just have to trust me that what I'm saying to you is true. So the images container is full screen, but this guy here, position static. So yeah, it also has position fixed for the overlay, so it wasn't off there. I wonder if we can set a position fixed here as well. I'm adding position fixed to the container. We'll see if that does anything. Oh, it does. It does. It's just, you know, looks awful. Okay. Well, I added position fix to, it's kind of trial and error right now. Okay, so that didn't work out. Position fix to the image itself. I wonder if I modify the Z index of the container itself. Ah, there we go. So now that it's fixed, I can set a Z index to the container and then a Z index to the image itself. So like that. You see? Okay. You know, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to upload some more images. Doesn't matter which ones. we go. Let's upload 4 more images. Files uploaded. Boy, is that quick. Great. Let's click on a random one here. Amazing. Oh, you did it. I did it. Amazing. That looks freaking great. I mean, it's not like the best thing in the world, but that doesn't look bad. I'm actually pretty stoked. There's like a little bit of a delay for some reason, but it's negligible. Awesome. Hey, that wasn't too bad. And are we getting anything funny going on? Nothing funny. I was worried about us like accidentally adding multiple overlays or something. But I think we remove everything just a-okay. So where are we at? 46 minutes? I think that's a good place to call it. So, yeah, thanks. Or, I don't know why I'm thinking you. You didn't do anything. I did this. But yeah, okay. Yeah, let's end it there. I'll see what other designs I kind of want to think of. We definitely need to add the 3-dot menu, so maybe that's what's next. 3-dot menu for delete and download. I think that's a good objective. So, thanks everyone. Again, or thank me. Bye.